If you're under 40 and you're wanting to grow your wealth, especially with real estate, I'm going to show you how to do this in the most optimized way with my whiteboard. And I'm going to show you where most people make the mistake and can never get past 2 or 3 properties. It's very frustrating, so let's go through it and I'm going to show you the best way to do this. Now, what we have here are 2 sides obviously, but what I want to focus on is on this side first. Now, when you're building out a strategy, there are 3 key phases. There's the accumulation phase, the consolidation, and then the lifestyle. Now, what do these all mean? Accumulation is all about going out there and taking on as much debt, going in and taking up as many assets under your control. Now, the whole game of, if we're looking at real estate investing, if you're looking at shares, ETFs, looking at Bitcoin, what you're trying to do is essentially hold as many assets for as long as possible so you get the long tail of compounding growth. So in accumulation, what we're really doing here is saying, hey, I don't really care if I've got debt because debt is going to accelerate what I actually want to achieve. Now, a lot of people get scared by debt because we've got all this past trauma and our parents saying what they do, but here is where we can really leverage and take on as much risk because in your 20s and your 30s, you're going to have a lot less responsibility than you do when you're in your 40s and 50s. So that's just, based on responsibilities and things like that. Next, what you have is consolidation. Now, if we were to put in a time range as to how long you're going to spend in each phase, you're probably looking at this being the longest. Now, in accumulation, you could spend anywhere between sort of 5 years and 15 years. And it sounds like a lot because, well, everyone's in this moment of instant gratification, but it takes time. And you want to build the foundation the right way. In consolidation, what you're looking at is saying, what assets do I want to keep for the long term? Do I enjoy real estate? Do I want to double down there? Do I enjoy the passive nature of having shares in an ETF portfolio? Maybe I double down there. Maybe there's, this upgrade of the house or a downgrade of the house. Depending on what age you're at, you're going to start making some real moves that not only require you to get rid of some of that debt, but it could also mean that you get rid of some of your assets as well. Now here, it really depends on how high you want to go. And I'm going to teach you this concept that I got taught. Funnily enough, it was on an Uber drive. Now last year, I actually flew over to Brisbane and the Uber trip was going to be from Brisbane to the Gold Coast because I was shooting a couple of podcasts there with a couple of people. So what ended up happening was the Uber driver engages in a conversation. It was about an hour-long drive. And he goes and tells me that this is a concept he explained to his son, and it's something that I should, take on, and then I can share it with my YouTube community. And what he said, he goes, think of life like you taking off on a plane. And what ends up happening is when you're on a flight, all of the energy that goes into the flight is really in the front end. So it means all of the actual petrol is used in the incline. And then what happens is you sort of level out, and then you end up landing. So he said, well, look, if all of the energy is going to be used at the front end, then what you want to do is know that whatever altitude you get to is most likely the highest point you'll ever get to. And I didn't really quite understand initially, and I said, explain more. So he goes, all of the energy here is represented by how much energy you have and time and resources that you may have when you're in your 20s and 30s. Less responsibility. So what you'd want to do is really push as high as you can, because when you level out, it is actually very difficult from this point to continue much higher because you're now leveling out in terms of resources in life as well. So he said it's always easier to go up to the highest point and then come down, even if you're going to finish up lower. But if you have to get to this point and you think, well, that's the point that I need to get to financial freedom and happiness in life, and then realize it's actually not going to be enough, this push up here is close to impossible. And so once he explained that, I realized that what you want to be doing is front loading. You want to go in and say, okay, if I do want to get to a net worth of say $10 million, well, how do I get there? I could go in and try and achieve $10 million, or am I better off saying, I'm going to set my sights on $15 million. Now we're using 10 million as an example, but you may go, look, I just want a house paid off, and I also want to have about $3 million in the bank by the time I retire. Well, you're better off trying to achieve this instead of at 60, at 50, or you could go, well, I actually want to have $5 million in net liquid assets and I want to have my house paid off. Because you already know this is your base case. And the thing is, if we go back to this concept, if you can go to the highest level you can while you have the resources and the ability to do so, you're generally going to find that life on the second half is so much easier. So I know it's a bit of a tangent, but it was a valuable lesson and I think a lot of you guys can take away a lot from that. Now, what we end up with is lifestyle, and that is basically this process from here to here. And that's where we are now starting to enjoy the fruits of our labor, but that's not to say that on the climb up, you're not enjoying it. And so many people get this wrong, where they think in my 20s, all I have to do is eat tuna cans, I can never go out with my friends. I traveled a lot. I traveled a lot in my 20s. I used to go out a lot in my 20s, but I did it in the smart way. And that meant that even just 1 or 2 years of real hard work, going out there, acquiring all the assets will give me the freedom to be able to enjoy the next 8 to 10 years where I can go and do things like travel, like buy a car, like go and buy my own place and things like that. So instead of going and saying, I'm going to do this slowly, half-assed, in and out, I'm nor in nor out, and I'm going to do this for 15 years, well, you're not really going to enjoy it. What you're better off doing is going, okay, you know what? I'm going to cram it in the 2 to 3 years, absolutely smash it, go as high as possible, and then when I consolidate, it's going to be so much easier at that point. So yes, you can still enjoy your 20s, you can still enjoy your 30s, and enjoy that journey, because there is also something beautiful about the journey itself. Now that we've established what the 3 stages are, I want to show you what that looks like visually here. What we have is this green line, and that would represent here, from here to here is accumulation. And yes, it's going to take time, and this is often the hardest part because you've got to go out there, get the right structures. You've got to know that I've got to increase my borrowing capacity in a time where it's so difficult to. And you also got to cut out all the noise because it's so hard when you're taking on risk, when you're going out there investing and everyone else around you doesn't want to do those things. It's usually the best time to do it. And if you think about the landscape right now, so many people are scared, consumer confidence is low, and that is when it's time to actually go out there and make some moves. But this only happens if you have a strategy, because if you don't have this strategy, generally what people do is make the wrong move, and I'm going to show you in a second what that could look like, versus just making a couple of smarter decisions, talk to the right people and go, hey, you know what? This could change the trajectory of my entire life. Whether I end up at this altitude or significantly lower and then have to suffer to just try and keep up, let alone trying to set up a foundation for myself, for early retirement, and then for my kids as well. So what we have here is you taking on more in the blue, which is the asset value, but you're also going up in terms of the debt itself. So you're acquiring more assets, but you're also taking on more debt. At this point, it starts changing because you're now entering consolidation. And what you might find is that at this point, I don't want to buy any more real estate. I want to slowly accumulate and take on no more debt. But your assets are still going to continue going up. Now I'm going to show you that example where you may find yourself going, actually, I want to be able to retire early and I want to do that with no debt. I don't care if I have $10 million in the bank. I don't really have aspirations for that. I just want to be able to enjoy my life in my 50s and 60s with less stress. So I'm going to show you that option too. But a lot of people think it's by paying off debt first, and it's definitely not. You follow these 3 stages, you're going to enjoy lifestyle a lot more than what most people think they're doing is the right thing. And I don't know about you, but if you're in a circle where everyone gets told, buy a house, pay it off as soon as possible, and that is the best life you're going to have, none of them are really actually retiring. Because yes, you can have your house paid off, but you still need to make some income. And so that's the part that people get wrong. So let me show you what that could look like as well. Now this here is what most people are thinking financial freedom actually is, and this is how you're going to be able to retire and you don't need any external help. I'm going to live on tuna cans, I'm going to save all the money I possibly can to get my first deposit so that I can go ahead and buy my first property. So I'm going to go ahead, get the first homeowner grants, and then I finally have my first property. So what ends up happening is now you've taken on all of this debt. Now you have some stress. Now you're like, oh my God, I have $900 coming out of my wallet every single week just to go and hold this property. But hey, I'm in the property market. I've been told property always goes up, and I finally joined what everyone else wants to do, which is the great Australian dream of buying the one house. Now you have another problem. And the bigger problem is that now you have a mortgage that's going to last you 30 years. And so what ends up happening is you don't actually go ahead and pay this off in 30 years, do you? What you do is you say, well, you know what? This house suits me when I'm 30. But it doesn't suit me when I'm 45. And you know what? I'm making a lot more income. My friends have nicer houses. They've got cars. I want to do the same thing. So what I end up doing is not making the smart decision and just saying, you know what? I need a bigger house now. So I'm going to sell this house. I'm going to take on this house. So there's 2 ways that people do this. Is they'll say, I sell this house and I've got now a new house, a larger mortgage, and now I have to spend another 30 years trying to pay that off. Or what some people do, in some cases probably worse, is they keep the first one And then they go and buy the second one and they say, well, this one now is an investment property. Look at me, Ravi, I have an investment property. Problem is that you never bought this with data in mind. You never bought it in the location that makes the most sense. And nor did you buy this with an optimized strategy. You just said, hey, I became an investor by accident. So what ends up happening is this is a subpar investment. You now have a larger mortgage and you're probably 40 to 45 years old, which means you then want to get to 70 and have no debt, because then you can go, well, actually, I have my super and I have the pension. So it should be okay, Ravi. It should be fine. The thing is, this strategy doesn't really work, especially if you're looking at this now as a 20, 30, and 40-year-old today. There is an alternative method, and to be honest, if we're looking back at the strategy that I explained is the most optimized, when am I accumulating? I'm accumulating here, right? But I've only accumulated one investment property, and this investment property is actually the home I live in, so it's not actually productive. The interest repayments that I make are not tax deductible either, so it's not optimized. I get no negative gearing benefits whatsoever. So here, in my accumulation phase, which is where I've got the most resources, my expenses should be the lowest, I've gone out and made an emotional purchase, which is the house I live in. Not only did I do that as the first mistake, but my second mistake is when I should be going into consolidation, I've actually gone and taken on more debt and then tried to keep this one and optimize my net worth. It doesn't work. And then you finally get to lifestyle, and your lifestyle is, oh, I'm going to rely on the super and the pension. And I don't know about you, but I can't trust anything that the government's been saying for the last 10 years. So what makes you think that in the next 20 to 30 years, the government's going to tell you a promise, keep it, and then you can go and base all of your decisions on an external party, being the government? It doesn't really work like that. So what I want to show you is, how do I optimize this? Because there is an alternative. And unfortunately, while this may have worked 20 or 30 years ago for a lot of people, it doesn't work today. And so you may be watching this saying, well, I actually know a lot of people, friends, family, uncles, aunties that have done this, and it actually worked out quite well. And to be honest, I don't mind that life. The truth is, this is now based on hopes and dreams. And as the property market continues to get unaffordable and gets worse in terms of affordability, you need other solutions. So let me show you what it looks like as an optimized strategy, and then you can go and make your decision as to whether this is the route I want to take, or is it this route that I want to take. Now, if you are enjoying this video, smash that like button. I do make whiteboard videos, and if you have enjoyed watching so far, you're going to want to understand how to buy in the right structures. So I'm going to leave this video up here, bookmark it, and come back to it afterwards, because it's going to teach you how you buy under specific structures to give you unlimited borrowing capacity. That is the whole game. How do I take on as much debt as possible to hold as many assets as well? So let me show you what the optimized strategy actually looks like. So what I've got here is the optimized strategy. Stage 1, accumulation. Stage 2 is consolidation. And then stage 3 is lifestyle. So in stage 1, I'm going to become a rentvestor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, as a rentvestor, I want to go and rent a property in an area that I'm happy with, but I want to go and invest elsewhere. And what I want to do is I want to go ahead and buy as many investment properties, go and buy as many ETFs and shares, and build up my portfolio while I'm young. This is where I want to do it. Now, I still rent. And a lot of people are going to go, well, that doesn't sound great, but it doesn't matter, because here, this is emotional. I want to go and live in a specific area I'm happy with, I get all the amenities, I'm close to work, whatever. Here is where you're making all the logical decisions. And a lot of people can't decipher between the two. Emotions, logic, which move is the right one, which is why companies like mine, being Search Property, is one of the fastest growing buyers agencies in Australia. Because as humans, we find it really difficult to go and remove the emotions from a transaction. So if you want to do it the right way, you need to outsource this. And I'm going to leave a link in the description box below, free call, so you can talk to the team about how to actually implement this for yourself. So what you do is, I want to go and accumulate. And then once I get into this stage here, now I want to start thinking, do I want the dream house? Do I want to go ahead and pay off a couple of homes to be able to buy the dream house? Do I want to hold all the investment properties and still be able to get the house? This is where a lot of the structuring, a lot of the conversations around what you should be and shouldn't be doing should be happening. Now, I would go on to say the structures are important in this phase, because if you bought into the wrong structure, you're already screwed. But here is where you can start making moves. So what you should be doing is, when you're going out buying a property, you're saying, I'm buying this asset with the goal to hold this for at least 20 years. Or I'm going and buying this property, it's in a high growth market, and the idea is that I'm going to sell this in 5 years to go and buy the dream house. That seems like a lot better of a strategy than what we're doing here. And this is what most people are doing currently, which is why most people don't ever get to retire on their own terms. So if I've now established that some of these properties, like let's say for instance, this property here and this property here are the ones that I'm planning to sell, you get that in the right structure, it means that you're gonna be able to go and get the house that you want so you can live in it, plus you get your investment portfolio. And that might be shares, ETFs, might be a commercial property, it might be businesses, it might be the existing portfolio. And depending on how early you start, how aggressive you are, and then at what age do you want to go, I don't actually like my job, I want to leave, gives you the most amount of choice when it comes to consolidation. Because some people are okay keeping debt as long as the debt services itself. See, if you go from a negative cash flow position where you're having to put money from your pocket to hold this investment property, it turns into a positive cash flow property. You're like, I don't even think about it because the property is now giving me money. So what I'm doing is I'm recycling some of that extra income into paying down the debt even faster because I don't really care about taking on more debt. I now want to reduce that debt. And so that's what happens in consolidation. And then finally, when we get to lifestyle, we don't want to rely on external things. And I would say super is something you can control if you go out there and get a self-managed super fund. If you want a breakdown, a whiteboard breakdown of self-managed super fund, how and why people are going in, buying real estate in SMSFs, and how they're going in retiring, I can make a whiteboard video for you. Let me know in the comments down below saying SMSF, and I'll make that whiteboard video for you next. But essentially in lifestyle, I want to go and retire on my own terms. I don't care about what pension looks like. I don't want the government telling me when I can and can't work. I want to be able to go do this really well when I have the resources. And then, as we spoke about, the flight trajectory, then we can slow down and enjoy the rest of what life looks like. So hopefully you guys are taking something away from this, which is we have the traditional way, and there's a reason why everyone that's doing the traditional way is not retiring. And then we have the way that most people should be doing it, especially if you're under 40. You need to be following this now because life's only getting harder. And I can tell you now, when I started investing 12 years ago, properties were a lot cheaper. It was a lot easier to get a loan. It's already a lot harder. And so I can only imagine what life looks like in 5 to 10 years from now. So start making the moves as soon as possible. You know what to do. If you want to watch the next whiteboard video, I'm going to leave one up here. And if you're interested in booking a call with our team, definitely use the links in the description box below. I'll also leave one for Refine Loans, who are the brokers that I use personally to go and build up this machine here under different structures so they know exactly what you need. I hope you guys have enjoyed this one. Catch you guys in the next one. Thanks, guys.